Hello and welcome back. Alright, so in this one, we're going to cover fragments. Alright, now, up until this point, you've been creating layouts and activities. And this is kind of where you begin to make a application that is dynamic, in that you can actually change stuff while things are loading. Okay? Now, what is a fragment? Well, by the name, it sounds like a fragment or a piece of an activity. And that's actually exactly what it is. And why fragments are useful is actually something that I've got an example that's fairly recent, right? I developed a novel speed writing application. However, I needed to implement an advertisement into every page that I had. Now, this novel speed writing application had about close to 9 different activities, and I did not want to rewrite the same code for each and every single activity. All right, that would have taken up a lot of time, and the best way to do this was to create a fragment. Instead of having to rewrite my code 9 different times, I lowered the amount of times that I had to copy. Because while I may have had to copy the fragment itself into the XML 9 times, and each one was the same as the last, I didn't have to rewrite the Java code for it every single time. Now, that may be a poor example of how to use a fragment, but it is a good example of where I didn't have to rewrite my code because of a fragment. So, how do you actually create a fragment? Believe it or not, it's really, really super simple. Okay? So, let's go over here to the layout and let's create a new. We'll go with layout resource file. And we'll call this an example fragment. And we'll go with, let's just go with linear layout. Okay? So we'll go with example fragment. And what we're going to do here is we're going to create a text box. And we're going to put a text view in here. And we're just going to match the parent on the width and wrap the content. And then let's go ahead and tidy this up. And then let's add some text and say that this is my fragment. Okay. And there we go. Yes, I know. Maybe we'll do that. You know what? Let's go ahead and do that. Alright. So we're going to take that, and we're actually going to come down here, and we're going to go in strings. And I said that I would do this later on, and this is exactly what I'm going to do. So this is your strings file. Technically, you're actually supposed to put all your strings into the string file so that all of your strings are organized in one place. That way it doesn't bulk up the XML code, because for instance in my novel application I had 5,000 words, so I didn't want to go into my XML and bulk it up with 5,000 words. So instead I put it all in my string XML file, and it took up less space on where I was actually coding. Now, let's call this fragment string. Okay, in that, put that in there, and done. And then we can close that. We come here and we put string fragment string, and that will transform it into the string that's found into the string XML. And just so you know, you can actually make a separate file of the string For instance, if I had a different XML file here and I just had the string in there, all I would need is the resources tag, and then I would need to put string in there. And the reason why I'm pointing this out is because whenever you're making applications like ones with advertisements in it, sometimes you get keys, public IDs, that you don't want to put in your GitHub. So what you can do is you can have a separate XML file for that particular string. And I actually did that with one of my recent applications, because I did get an app ID from AdMob that I didn't want other people using. And I don't know why people would want to use that app ID, because all it would do is give me extra money, but at the same time, it's a good practice to not let anyone know your keys. So I just want to let you know that that is possible. So now we've got our fragment set up, okay? And then we need the Java file for the fragment. So we come up here and we go new Java class, and we will say example example fragment. Okay, and the first thing we need to do is we need to extend fragment. And as you can see, it already imported the fragment module from the app class. Okay? Now, unlike a regular activity, right? Unlike a regular activity where you've got an onCreate method, you're actually creating a view. Instead of creating a layout, you're creating a view whenever you use the fragment class. So what you need to do is you need to modify the onCreate view method. In IntelliJ, and I believe in Android Studio, you can press Ctrl-O and it'll bring up this list. And these are all the methods you can override. And what we're looking for is onCreate view. Okay? Alright, so with most override methods, you're just going to delete this, okay? Because you don't actually need it. You do need it in terms of the fact that the method won't actually work without it, but we're going to modify it so when we return the view itself, you won't need that specific statement, right? So the first thing we have to do is we set up the actual return object. And what we want to return is we want to return a view. And then we have to call on the inflator method. And the inflator method inflates a resource of ours. So what do we want to inflate? Well, obviously we want to inflate the r.layout.example fragment. Oh, that did not go well. Example fragment. Okay. And then we want to pass in container and false. Boom. Okay. What now? Return view. There we go. Now, we have this, and what we're doing is we're taking the fragment and we're inflating it inside of the container of wherever it's located, right? And let's go to activity main. Now, how do we add this? Well, I'll show you the easy way. The easy way to add this is right here. Down here in custom. Oh, yes, I know. It's going to give me an error. Okay. So, we got it here, right? And now we just select the example fragment. And where do we want it? Well, let's put it down here. Yes, yes, yes. This shows up because it's not exactly sure what you want to show. And basically what happens here is it's asking you what you want to display on the design screen. And because these names are built with the default settings that the layout file will have the same name as the activity, it knows to produce that specific type. But with fragments, it doesn't really understand that because it's not built to assume that the fragment's going to have the same Java class. So what you have to do is you have to click this. And there you go. And because we had the string in there, it's right there. I mean, I could technically do this and open it up, but it's going to be right there. Now, in the text view, there's a few things that happen. First of all, it screwed up on the actual view of it. But your name is where you get the actual fragment name of where the inflator is. That's where it's put. And then for the layout itself, it uses the XML file. And then it has the ID fragment so that it can target it and so that you can target it. It also assumes that you're only going to want wrap content because that's the smallest size that you can have without it just disappearing or it looking weird. Okay? So that's actually how a fragment works. That's it. It's as simple as that. Was there something else I was going to talk about? I feel like there was something else I was going to talk about. Alright, so that's it for this video. I know that it was a lot shorter than the previous videos, and that's because I was actually covering quite a bit in the previous videos. But with each video, I'm going to at least try to shove in one topic. It really just depends on how much time I have to record. If you have specific wants as to the length of time, you can go ahead and leave a comment down below because I do read those and I do enjoy responding to comments. And as always, I will have a course link for my Ruby on Rails course and my web development course if you want to follow those. Until next time. Until next time. Until next time. Until next time. Until next time.